Hello, I hope you're well. It is I Lost Wolf. It's not rainy, but it is cold. Apparently, it's going to be rainy over the weekend, so we'll see how my internet holds up. But we're going to be playing The Secret of Monkey Island. Yesterday, we started in on a quest that I don't really want to do quite yet because it's long and involved, and that is sword fighting. And we learned kind of the mechanics for sword fighting yesterday, so we're going to sort of move on with that and get it done. Um, we're gonna have to have a mild bit of a spreadsheet for this because the way it works is you learn quote unquote moves as you go, and you need to understand which moves you can use in which situations. So I'm gonna set up like a little spreadsheet, and then we're gonna get going. I'm gonna very quickly get the first couple of lines that we get told, because that is a thing that I never did. But let me get those. Actually, let me do all the housekeeping and then let me get those. Because that is actually stream business. So let's start by housekeeping. Uh, okay. So that's done. This is done. And then we can get along with doing this. Okay. I'm gonna very quickly get the first couple of lines of the sword fighting dialogue that we need to know, and then I'll show you the spreadsheet, and then we'll move on with that. So, okay, so let me get us a. Okay, so let's spread these out a little bit. And then let's color. Maybe let's give us all spreadsheet lines. That's a very icky, disgusting color. Make it a little bit more. Yeah, that looks a bit better. That wasn't the slime, so sure. Alright, these. Yay, big. It's ended. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We want that on the outside. And then stamp that down. And between the two lines, we want a center line. So, maybe not quite that, but yeah, maybe that one, sure. In a second, I'll show you kind of what I've been doing. There we go. And we want that line, but we want it kind of like so. I think that might be a bit too heavy-handed. Maybe it needs to be thinner than that. Oh. Get out of here. I don't want that line, yeah. Oh god, why? Oh. Okay, so, you know, hang on. I'm having a mild amount of trouble trying to set up one of the lines. There we go. Let's make it like this. Yeah, okay. Let me show you what I've been doing. There. So now we have lines where we can add stuff in. I'm gonna make this a little bigger so you can read it. That should be more like 16. And then let's just spread this out a bit more. Sure. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we got that done. It took close to 5 minutes, so let me actually start the timer here. There we go. Okay, let me get the game up and going. I love this bass note at the beginning of the song. Oh my god. It's like the bass note at the beginning of the Legend logo that I was so fascinated with when we were playing Superhero League of Broken. It's just a great little bass note. Okay, so let's immediately make ourselves a session 3. As you'll recall, we stopped right outside here. Oh, I don't want to save there. I want to always have a way to get back to a state where, like, we haven't done something. And so that's kind of why we end up making these weird save games. I don't think that there's anything else that, like, if we open the door, there's no answer. Yeah, we can't go back in there. There's a road out here and a road back this way. The roads both lead outward. So it doesn't matter which one we pick. We're back out here. But now the good news is we can always come back here if we want to. So now, at this point, these guys who are wandering around, the guys we can start like encountering. If we just like hang out, yeah, there we go. Oh. It might be easier to wait at a spot where everyone has to go. Like here's a good spot where everyone has to go. Do I have to bump, like physically bump into them? That wasn't happening earlier. Huh. How really weird. There we go. Move out of the way. Ah, it cuts my way through. Or it cuts my way through. Nice night we're having. My name is Guybrush Threepwood. Prepare to die. Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way. We didn't have this before. I'm gonna do this conversation now because I think that this now leads to a different response. I sure hope you had something more important to stop me for. My name's Guybrush. Oh, okay, there we go. My name is Guybrush Threepwood. Prepare to die. Soon you'll be wearing my sword like a shish kebab. I once owned a dog that was smarter than you. This is a line we've not seen before. So, this is an insult, I believe. Yeah, it is an insult. So let's add this to our repertoire. You know what I'm gonna also do here? I'm gonna make these lines 16 so we can all read them. There. Okay. Cool. So let's try this one and see if they know the answer to this. Oh yeah, he doesn't know the answer. Okay, so the way it works is that when we score a hit, effectively, we I'll just check. Okay, I don't think so. Boy, you ugly, what an idiot. You call yourself a pirate. Those aren't actually insults. So we are not going to get anything out of this. Yeah, we're not going to get anything out of this, unfortunately. Because he either knows these two or he doesn't. Okay, so let's start with this one, because we know the response to this one. I am rubber, you are glue. You fight like a dairy farmer. I'm shaking. That's also a non-answer. I give up, you win. Okay, so we got something out of that, which was a win. What do you be wanting, you scurvy lover? Go to give us a cellar lost wolf. If you poke his eye out, it will give him more pirate cred. Yes, 100%. So we can skip this one now. We know this doesn't lead anywhere other than to here, so let's do this. So we'll keep trying this until we get a response out of this. I once owned a dog that was smarter than you. This guy doesn't know this answer either. Okay. Okay, so when he does this, we go backward. And the reason we go backward is because he knows the answer to our insult. I've heard you a contemptible sneak. We don't know the answer to this one. This is a retort. So, is it a retort? No, it's an insult, sorry. Okay, so we don't know this one. We're going to add it to our list of insults. I've heard you are a contemptible sneak. So when we don't know the answer to something, there's no point in worrying about it. We're just going to say one of the other responses that we have here. So like, for example, I'm rubber, you a glue, oh yeah. I'm shaking, I'm shaking. Could you repeat that? I didn't quite get it. Some people would have wanted to have written these down so they could make a list like we're doing. So we're just going to go, oh yeah. I've spoken with apes more polite than you. I'm gonna very quickly make a notes folder for this game because there aren't a lot of things that we do need to take notes of, but this is one of them. Okay, so let's go. We don't know the answer to this one again, so we're just gonna say, oh yeah. And this one we lose, but that's okay because we picked up a couple of insults. And this is why I said this is a bit of a production, because you just have to hang out and wait for folks to find you, and then insults will find them. Yeah. So let's keep on going down this path to see if we can get this answer to this. We won't pick up new ones until we figured out what this one is. So let's start with that one. He must have taught you everything you know. There you go, that's the answer to that one. He must have taught you everything you know. Oh, I didn't actually see the insult here, so because I was busy writing it down, the response. So I don't know what he asked, what he said. I think I can ask him to repeat it. Could you repeat that? Yes. I said, have you stopped wearing diapers yet? Okay, so that is an insult. We don't know the answer to this one, so we're just going to say, oh yeah. You fight like a dairy farmer. We know the answer to this one. How appropriate. You fight like a cow. This is good because it allows us to test one of our other insults that we don't know the answer to, that we don't know yet. I've heard you a contemptible sneak. Too bad no one's ever heard of you at all. Okay, That's good. We got a response to that one. Okay. We don't know the answer to that one, but I'm gonna start with I've spoken to apes because it's further up on our list of insults, and I just want to make sure that we get them in the order that we see them. I've spoken to apes more polite than you. I'm glad to hear you attended your family reunion. That's the correct answer for that one. I heard you're a contemptible sneak. Okay, so we know the answer to this one. I'm just gonna write down the response to the previous one. Okay, and this one is I'm glad sorry. Too bad no one's ever heard of you at all. So we don't know have you stopped wearing diapers yet. So let's try this one. Why did you want to borrow one? That is the correct response for that. Now we're going to get new information because we don't have anything that we can use here. I got the scar on my face during a mighty struggle. Okay, let me write this down. Okay, and we got the response to have you stopped wearing diapers yet, which was why did you want to borrow one? Let me just make sure. Oh, it's during a mighty struggle. We don't know the answer to this one. This is new to us, so we are going to, oh yeah, and get ourselves out of this fight. Cool. Yikes, nice move. We'll just wait here. People come to us at this juncture, so it's fine. Stopping a pirate can be dangerous to your health. Yeah. So the one that we don't have yet is I got the scar on my face during my struggle. He doesn't know the answer to this one. So we're not going to get any new information out of this unless he fights back and knows the responses. So we are going to just hang out for a second here and just start from the top. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, we know the answer to this one. Why did you want to borrow one? I want some dog that was smarter than you. Oh yeah, okay, we're going to win this fight. We don't get anything new out of this one. But you can see how this is a good system and I like it a lot. Alright, this better be important. This is one of the most memorable things about this game, in fact. Okay, so we don't know. I got the scar on my face from a mighty struggle. I hope you've learned to stop picking your nose. Okay. I hope you've learned to stop picking your nose. And he is talking about this. We're not going to get anything out of this because, unfortunately, what we should maybe have done here is strategically lost to see if he's got any new insults for us. Because right now we're just going to go through stuff that we already know. Yeah. He just literally learned that one from us, I think. I've spoken with apes more polite than you. Where's our family reunion answer? There. I do think that logistically you have to win fights. I don't know how this game factors in when you can visit the Sword Master. I think that you can just go until you got all of the responses that you want. Okay, good. Sure. Okay, so we've got nothing new here at all. Wow, you're good enough to go fight the Sword Master. And now, I don't know if people keep fighting. Oh, they do. Okay. Sure. We want to get as many of these as we can. But I think that at this point, if you wanted to, you could go fight the Sword Master. Okay. Alright. There you go. Okay, good. So he might give us a new insult. No, he did not. Okay. I'm gonna oh yeah in the hopes that he gives us something new. So I'm gonna lose this fight. We're gonna strategically start losing fights so we can start getting more insults. There we go. People fall at my feet when they see me coming. We don't know this one. This is an oh yeah, we don't know the response to this one. Where did my sword go? Okay. People fall at my feet. Okay, he doesn't know this one. That's fine. We will dairy farmer because I think almost every pirate knows this one. I think they almost always know the ones that you get started off with, and that's the easiest way to lose. Yeah, to lose. There. Because we started off with shish kebab. I think that your first one is always programmed. Like you will always get how appropriate you fight like a cow. But the other insults, the second insult you get after that, is up to the law of the gods. I don't know. Okay, so let's see if we can get this response here. People fall at my feet. Okay, he doesn't know it either. Unless... here... Okay, good. So we might get a new insult here. No? Okay, we're gonna oh yeah this in the hopes that he does give us something new that we don't have. Okay, we're gonna just oh yeah this because we want to lose so we can get the next fight. Look behind you, a three-headed monkey. That's a joke we're going to keep seeing over and over again, by the way. Cool. Okay, he did not know that one. I'm gonna try and let him have the upper hand here by giving him responses that he should know. There you go. Alas. Okay. Even before they smell your breath? Okay, good. So that is new. Okay. Oh. We're going to, oh yeah, we want more new insults. So we're just going to keep going here in the hopes that he gives us something we don't have. You're no match for my brains, you poor fool. That we do not know the answer to. I just want to very quickly check to see how many answers and responses there are. There are 16. Okay, so we're going to go until we have all 16 because that will make it a little bit easier when we get to the Swordmaster. At the moment, we've got 8 to 16, so we're just going to keep on going. You're no match for my brains, you poor fool. Okay, he doesn't know this. dairy farmer and see if we can get into a losing situation here. Nope. Man. Where's it? Here. I like how that poor little tune can't get past the first few notes. There we go. Unfortunate. Where's there? Ow. It's surprising to me that dairy farmer isn't the first thing that, you know, they give you on this list. There are no words for how disgusting you are. We don't know this one. So let's just, oh yeah, we're out of this one. Now we got two things that we can test. More would be good. This is the end for you, you gutter calling her. There was, yeah, okay. That's great. We actually got three responses we didn't have. So there's a lot that we can now test out. Uncle. Okay, so we will start with your no match because we don't have the response to that yet. Your no match, my brain. Yeah, okay. Okay, he did not know the answer to that one. There are no words. Yes, there are. You just never learned them. That is the response for that one. Okay. That's funny. He taught us the response to this one. Yes, there are. You just never learned them. Am I? Oh, I'm taking this down wrong. Okay, so let's do the correct one here, which is yes, there are. And we want to try... This is the end for you. There. And I've got a little tip for you. Get the point. Okay. Okay, so I was unfortunately not paying attention, but I think that he was shish kebabbing. Yes. I think he shish kebabbed. Yes, okay. Oh, I was too busy taking down the response, and I read the response and then kind of also missed it at the same time. Okay, so we want to test you and I match my brains. I'd be in real trouble if you ever used them. Oh, nobody's ever drawn blood for me and nobody ever will. Taking this down. I'd be in real trouble if you ever used them. And then nobody's drawn blood. Okay. We don't know the answer to this one. We're just gonna, oh yeah. We might learn a couple of new things here. Although we're pretty far back, so we might not. I once owned a dog that was smarter than you. I'm gonna respond to this one correctly and hope that we push him back and then he pushes up us back. He must have taught you everything you know. Okay. I'm gonna try his response because it looks like occasionally they have the answers to their own retorts. I don't know that. Oh, we might not have access to that one immediately. No, we don't. Okay, so let's dairy farmer when all else fails and see if we get a new response here. Okay, sure. Silco Rival says, you fight like a dairy farmer. How appropriate, you fight like a cow. Hello, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We are in the process of getting as many of these retorts as we can, so that when we go and fight the Swordmaster, we kind of know what we're doing. Hope you're doing well and having a good day, and thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. This is just very laid back. I barely remember the game, so we're playing it through. It's the first time I'm playing it in probably close to 30 years. So it's not quite like it's new to me. I remember bits and pieces and little fits and starts. But there are things that, like for example, to get this point, we battled a little bit with the seagull because I didn't remember that that wasn't a verb that you could click on. I was just like, I'm sure there's got to be a way to get this thing to work out. And then we eventually figured it out by just walking over the plank. Okay, so we're looking for. Nobody's ever drawn blood for me. Yeah. Oh. Oh god. There we go. So this is going to be sort of slow going, and you run that fast. That is the correct response. Okay, we know this one. Let's see if we can get new information. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, and because we know the answer to this one, we're just gonna bail on it. We're gonna see if we can give us a new insult. Okay, no, he is not going to do that. That's okay. Let's get out of this fight so we can pick up something new. Sure. Look behind you, it's rated monkey. Now, unfortunately, because we don't have anything new, I'm going to try and get us into a losing situation so that we can get more information out of these guys. So we're going to fight like a dairy farmer and hope that this guy knows that one, and then proceed with things that we know they should know. Oh no, disaster! I don't want to win the fight. Where is there? Okay, good. Maybe he has something new for me. Okay, that is unfortunate. Oh yeah, so we can see if he does have anything else. Okay, that is unfortunate because we also know this one. Let's, oh yeah, and get ourselves out of this fight and get a new fight. Seems good. Yeah, let's dairy farmer. We don't have anything new, unfortunately, so if we can, yeah, there we go. If we can coax them into insulting us, that would be great. Have you stopped wearing diapers yet? We know the answer to this one. Try for something else. Nobody's ever drawn blood for me and nobody ever will. Okay. I'm gonna push him back a little bit. Hmm. Okay, good. It may be that I'm misunderstanding the sword fighting slightly wrong, and I think I am. I think it's just you go back and forth, and whoever gets it's best of three effectively. Whoever gets three correct vanquishes the other person. There's no back and forth here. Uh, oh man, I just want new insults. There's still some that we haven't gotten, so I'd like to be able to just get those. We're at 11 of 16, so there's still stuff in this pile that we haven't seen yet. Oh, good. Maybe he will have something new for us. Please? No. Unfortunately, we do know that one. Yeah. Oh, hooray. Ah, that's unfortunate. We know the answer to this one too. There we go. I'm going to do one last sword fight very quickly, and then I'm going to take the 10-minute break. And we will get right back to this. Hmm. When in doubt, dairy farmer, because as I said, maybe they will know that one. But alas, this one does not. Another one. Okay, good. New insult, please. It's gonna get more and more difficult to get new insults because we know the bulk of them now. There we go. Family reunion. Okay, yeah. After this, as soon as he throws his sword up in the air. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm gonna pause here. And I'm gonna go on a 10-minute break. I might be a little bit long. I'm gonna make tea and then we're gonna come back and we'll continue anon. I will see you shortly. Slipper Rival says, enjoy your break, take your time. Oh, it won't be much longer than 10 minutes. I'll see you soon. Okay, I am back. The T just finished drawing right about the second before I was due to turn, so it all worked out wonderfully. Okay. We need to get some new insults. That'd be good. Oh, man. um, it's funny how, like in this case, this guy knew these very sort of, not advanced, but other way ones. There we go. My handkerchief will wipe up your blood. We didn't have that one before. We don't know the answer to this one. Let's, oh yeah. I heard you a contemptible sneak. We've got this one. Too bad no one's ever heard of you at all. Sure. That's okay. I just want something new to work with so that we can move forward. My handkerchief will wipe up your blood. So you got that job as a janitor after all. There we go. That is the correct response. Okay. You got that job as a janitor after all. We're gonna, oh yeah, and I hope that he will give us a response. We do know the answer to this one, of course, so it's not like we're losing anything other than new information. Oh, oh, man. Okay, good. Oh no, I think that we get bailed out here. Yes. We have... We got 12 of the 16. It's unfortunate there isn't a coin flip happening here for who goes first. We always go first, which is sort of frustrating if you need new information, but we'd like them to go first so that we can get new information. Okay, good. Okay. I think my current plan is just to take the top uh, item on the list and then spam it if we know that they're not giving us new information. That way we don't have to move the mouse too often. uh, I'd like to get this like done before the end of the session. And if it turns out that like there's 10 minutes left or so of the session, we'll just go and do the sword master anyway, just so that this is out of our way. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think actually the optimal thing is to get a hit in and then to go backwards a whole bunch, because that way we're more likely to get new information, because that gives us 2 attempts at getting new lines. They seem to know this one quite well, a lot of them. I think I can give them the wrong answer and that will also move us backward. So that might be even faster than what we're doing right now, which is searching out, oh yeah. Ah, there we go, that's new. You make me want to puke. We don't know the answer to this one, so I'm just going to respond with a bad response, and then we're going to get out of here and we're going to try that one. Oh, I keep meaning to talk about this response here. My name is Guybrush Threepwood, prepare to die. So, as I've mentioned before, this game is a little bit drenched in 80s-isms, and I mean, I can't call all of them out, but they're there. And this specific one, so at the, not at the time of this game's release, but a little bit before, maybe like 3 years prior to it, maybe 4 years prior to it. I think it came out in 1986. There was an adaptation of The Princess Bride made as a movie. And in that movie, there's a guy called Inigo Montoya, and he says this very famous line, depending on whether or not you've seen that movie, where he has a whole long speech, and then at the end of it, he says, I am Inigo Montoya, prepare to die. And this is directly lifted out of that. I think. I want to say that that is where that is from. But it's, it's perfectly legitimate to say that other pieces of media have used very similar language when in this sort of situation. Oh, we should have been trying You Make Me Want to Puke. I'm dumb, sorry. We need new information, but we wanted to get the response to this one, and we don't know it, so the game is sort of helping me out by giving me the same line twice. I should have been smarter and tried it myself. Nobody's ever drawn blood for me, and nobody ever will. Oh, yeah? Okay, sorry. I wasn't paying attention there. I was busy telling you that story about the Princess Bride, and then got a little bit sidetracked. So let's try it again. There, you make me want to puke. You make me think somebody already did. That is the correct response. Alright. We're gonna see if we can get something new here. Ah, unfortunate. Oh, I was going to try for the first one. Yeah, you see, I was going to try for the first one. Because they've been very, very good about recognizing this is the end for you. You got a calling curve. And they've been good about feeding the line back so we get new information. There, see? I shouldn't put that out into the walls. They're going to immediately stop responding to it. Okay. Nothing new there. It's interesting that they don't actually take items off the list, but I think that makes sense because you might want to try the same retort against multiple insults until you get it right if you weren't watching. See, shouldn't have put it out there immediately. This guy doesn't know the response to it. Good. You're no match for my brains, you poor fool. We've got this one. And we've got this one. That's unfortunate. Part of the problem is with this specific sort of mini game, the way they've programmed it and set it up is you need to know the actual responses in game. Otherwise, we can just move on and declare this done and go to the Swordmaster. But we want as much information as we can have in game, and so we're looking for 2 more responses. Sure. I don't know why I put it out into the world that they would not know that they were keeping track of that one response over and over again. Because now we have to go deeper into the conversation tree to get somewhere, I mean. Okay. Okay. And this is why I was wary of just doing this particular quest second. Just because there's like a fair bit of it and it's all tight RNG. And it might take a while for us to get all the responses that we can have. I wanted to save this for last because this is just the kind of thing, unfortunately, that could go on for a while. Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking to see which ones we're missing. I see one that we don't have. I believe I'm correct in saying that there are 2. Yes, there are 2 that we don't have. That is right. Oh, man. There we go. This is new. Yeah, the manners of a beggar. We don't have this one. Okay. Right. Let's see if we can get the response for you of the manners of a beggar. Uh, There we go. Oh yeah. Ah, unfortunate. Oh, there's hope for this fight yet. He might give us the last insult we need. Nope. Okay. This is pretty far down. There we go. I wanted to make sure you'd feel comfortable with me. That is the response. Cool. Okay. Okay. I just want to very quickly, before we spawn to this guy, make sure that I have the correct response. Oh, yeah. You'd feel comfortable with me. Okay, cool. Oh no. This fight is turning into a disaster. Yeah, that was a disaster fight. I have a bad feeling about this fight too. Oh, good. Okay, hopefully he has something new for us. There's one more response that we want to get. One more insult, I should say. Nope, that's not the one. It's also interesting, and this is a thing that we'll see repeated throughout Lucasfilm from this point onward. They're trying to inject a tiny bit of character into all of these guys by having them have different colors for their words. And eventually that becomes like a hallmark of how they do responses. So you can track who's talking. Okay, we've got this one. So usually your character will be white on black, and then everyone else will have different colors denoting who they are. And it's very cool. It's very helpful to determine, especially in games like this that don't use portraits, to let you know who's speaking. But having the colors allows you to figure out what's going on, but it also allows Lucasfilm to inject different people with different character traits and foibles, and they have distinct voices as a result of the color coding. Nope, that's not the one. Okay, that is also not the one. It might be a while. One of the things that I've always liked about like the PC's EGA and VGA era is when they nail screens like this. It's very awesome because this is super, like, when you think about it, this is super cozy. You're just, I mean, it's hard work for Guybrush, obviously, but you're just out under the stars, walking around this place, learning about it. and you always just have this moon out, right? It's very essentially gentle and soothing. And I love when like EGA and VGA games have a great sense of place like this. The game that we should eventually play, and I don't know when we'll play it, maybe we do it in December somewhere at some point, that has sort of the most place, the pair of games that have the most place for me in the EGA era are the Colonel's Bequest and Manhunter. They're both two games from two very different um, spectrums or sort of parts of Sierra Cosmos. Manhunter is a very like horror adjacent game, and all of its tropes and its visuals are slated in sort of 80s sci-fi horror. And then the Colonel's Bequest is kind of noir 1930s detective sort of crime scene and investigative sort of time and place. And the way the screens get built up for Colonel's Bequest are just, they're amazing EGA screens for what they are. And it goes to show how eventually Sierra got so good at those tools that they could make magic with them. And I love the way like Sierra and LucasArts particularly will be so good about using like the skyline and giving the skyline stars and giving us little vistas to look at and that sort of thing that give all of their games such a lot of place. Because it's not an easy thing to land with this few colors and this few pixels. So it's always cool to see someone try. It's a lot easier to land this sort of thing now that we have 3D and millions of colors. Because it's easier to say, okay, this is the palette of this game and this is the motif of this game. Where in EGA, especially, it's very difficult to inject motif into 16 colors without trying super hard. VGA, you get a little bit more scope to do that in, and the example of that is the dig. The dig has a very specific feel to it. It's sort of melancholy sunset, like leading into dusk, and it could only have been achieved because the artists were so good at LucasArts at that point. Okay, this is not the one we want. And that's why, like, for this year at least, we're going to be playing mostly RPGs and mostly things that are serious time commitments. But in between, I'd like to play little games like this that have like a very good sense of place and style about them. There aren't a lot of these, unfortunately. Like, no one understood time and place more than companies like Lucasfilm and Sierra, and to a lesser extent like Infocom. But Infocom doesn't give us graphics, unfortunately, until the very end of Infocom's life. So the time and place there is all in your mind. But like, for example, one of the games in early Infocom that have sort of very striking time and place. We played what was the game's name? We played The Lurking Horror, that has distinct time and place, right? But there are other games like that in the Infocom canon where you're working with your mind to get to the visual of what you're reading, and it's very cool how they manage that with such a little text. And I like these games like this and the 16 color games that are so constrained, and they have to do something with that constraint to make you feel like you're there. We are looking for one response still. I'll know it when I see it. Unfortunately, we're also getting bad battles here. Yeah, see, bad battles. This is just not like at all helpful. That's why I say I wish that there was like a coin flip mechanic to this so that they could go first and they could actually give us more responses more often. Well. Like there's games in the 256 color era, and like Inca. Inca has such strong style and place, but it's such a bad game that it makes it so difficult to take like very seriously. Inca does not believe in coddling the player. There are space flight sections of that game, and you got to get through them. And unfortunately, there's like a live system and a energy system, and it's just the threats against you pile up so quickly that it gets very difficult to play the game and take it seriously. And so the last time I played it, which was for YouTube, I just cheated my way through the flight sections because they were garbage, right? And even cheating my way through those sections, the game doesn't cheat back necessarily, but it's so difficult that in order to cheat effectively, you have to be mindful of what's happening on screen, because it's very easy to die very quickly even though you're cheating, because all the cheating does is give you full energy and full weapons. It doesn't destroy things. And so it's very easy to get to a spot and then just get blown away by what you see. And that was kind of what I was fighting against when I was playing that game. Like in the YouTube video, if you go and look it up, because I'm on YouTube. Although I've been very bad and haven't actually uploaded in 5 years at this point. And if you look that up, you'll see that there's a point in Inca where it's like, tell the viewer, by the by, you'd best know that I'm cheating from this point onward. Because the difference for me between this and YouTube is that very often I would pre-play those games. I'd get to a point where I sort of knew what I was doing, and then I'd play it for real and record it. And even in the test like the test setup for Inca, I was like, there's no other way to make this game work other than just to cheat. I don't miss the editing of YouTube. I miss recording. I miss very much setting up games and then talking about them at length and in depth, which we kind of try and do here. But Twitch is a very different sort of audience, and I miss the methodical nature of playing a YouTube game. But I don't at all miss the editing. The editing is the worst part for me. It just goes on, and I hate it. And I was terrible at doing good edits too, so that didn't help. If any of my YouTube audience ever listen to this, I'm so sorry I abandoned you. I desperately loved recording the games. But then sitting down to do the editing would always just be draining and frustrating. Nope, that's not the one. Uh-oh, this is bad. We are at the 10-minute mark. What do I do? I think we want to try and, so the thing about what's going to happen at the Swordmasters is, oh, I incidentally clicked on the right one by accident. I'm not even paying attention. I'm looking for the right line that they're going to say to me. If we go down to the Swordmasters now, it's going to be like a bit of a production because there's a whole bunch of nonsense before we fight. Oh, there we go, thank God. I'm not going to take your insolence sitting down. That's the line I wanted. I'm not going to take your insolence sitting down. I knew we'd get there eventually. Oh my God. Okay. So let's get the response to this one. And then actually I think I'm just going to call it the stream because there's at this point no point in trying to get to the Swordmaster. Because it may take like 2 or 3 attempts to get the response that we want for this insult. There we go. Oh man. I was hoping it would just be first try. Okay, cool. Your hemorrhoids are flaring up again, eh? There we go. Okay, I entirely missed what he was saying there, but it doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go talk to the trainer. There's 2 people we can go talk to. The first person is the trainer, the other person is the shop salesman. Because the shop salesman, Oh my god. I just want to get moving here. We got everything we want. The shop salesman will put me in contact with the sword master. There we go. Okay, let's save here. And that's it. We're done for today. Let me very quickly, before I leave you, show you the spreadsheet. Yeah, so it's just every insult and retort that we'd seen. And we just started with a couple that we had. These. And then worked our way downward. Pretty good. I like it. Okay, so let me go here and make sure that I've saved again. Okay, so I have a small bit of housekeeping before I leave, and it's sort of important housekeeping, and you do need to know it. From tomorrow going forward, and until the person leaves, they want to get going a little bit more early in the morning than I usually would. And so what that's meant is that they're going to sleep a little bit earlier. So I'm going to be making a point of having dinner with them, and then immediately what will be happening afterwards is so that I'm not walking around at night and causing a disturbance. Normally what I would do, because it's quiet enough and I can just do it, is I would do all the day's dishes. But I'm going to be doing that earlier, right? So that we just don't have dishes in the morning when they want to get going. So what that means is that the stream itself will probably start later than it has been historically for the last, I don't know, 3 months or so. And I can't tell you when exactly the stream is going to start, because sometimes there's more dishes and less dishes. But it will be not significantly later, but it might be up to like an hour later than we usually begin. And we'll go obviously a little bit later as a result. Because at that point it's just quiet and I can move around and it's not a problem. But yeah, so for the next maybe week, maybe a little bit more than that, just bear in mind that the streams will happen. I can't guarantee quite when, but they will be a bit later than we usually do them. So, there you go. Alright, that's the only housekeeping I have for you today. I will see you tomorrow. More Monkey Island. We will turn this particular quest in and then we'll start trying to get the third quest done, which is stealing something. And then we'll move on from there. Have a wonderful evening. Please stay safe. I shall see you all soon. Good night for now, folks.